All right, looks like we are back for another Monday night live stream with all of you guys that are going to be tuning in here in just a few moments. And if you are missing the live stream, you're watching this a little bit later, hey, that's completely cool too. Thanks for tuning in. But typically Mondays, and I already see you, Rusty. Yeah, finally back to Mondays. You're busy slinging lead on Fridays. That's great, man. But typically, if you guys are tuning in a little bit later, I am going live Monday evenings. So feel free to tune in then. All right. 6, 7 o'clock thereabouts. Okay. And for the first time, we should be on Rumble. So that is good. I mean, it should be working. So if you guys are tuning in from Rumble, let us know down in the comment section. Let us know in the chat there. And gotta love freedom of speech over at Rumble, right? So hopefully that's working for everybody there. But hey, thank you guys for tuning in again. It's always great to see y'all. It's been a little bit, but I am back for Monday night streaming and talking with you guys. And man, I missed you guys. All right. So anyway. Yeah, there you go. Second Son Photography, more Mag Dump Monday. Woo! And there's the cowboy hat right here. Here you go. Just to match your emoji, okay? There you guys go. In case you guys wanted that. Anyway, I'll hang that on my Hux Works off of my Mark 18 there. Okay. Which, by the way, I know a lot of you guys are wondering where the Mark 18 is. There it is. I've got it set up right on my my gear tree, tactical cross, whatever you want to call it. And that, as you notice, isn't the typical Daniel Defense 10.3 Mark 18 upper. That is the Aero Precision, if I could speak, Aero Precision 300 Blackout upper that I've got kind of kitted out for one of my home defense guns. So what do you guys think, right? But anyway, oh, man, you guys are tuning in. Appreciate you guys, of course. It's always, again, just really cool to see you guys in here. And don't forget to, of course, I'm going to try to get to as many comments, questions, whatever, for however long I plan on streaming for. And, of course, the starred ones, like the one that I just got here, these guys. So from Zombie Plays, let me go ahead and pull you up here. These ones always show up as like a big highlight. They come very easy, so feel free to send in a super chat there. I'll make sure I get to you guys first and foremost and all that type of stuff. So without further ado, Zombie Plays, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for the support, and thank you guys for watching. Zombie says he's got a compact pistol, full-size pistol, AR-15, 16.556. What should I go for now? Shorter barrel, AR, AR-9, PCC, or another pistol? I'd like to. I want to hear from quite a few people in the chat. What do you guys think here for Zombie? So you've said you've got a compact pistol. I guess I'm assuming that's probably for your concealed carry or whatever else. You've got a full-size pistol. You've got a AR-15 16-inch 5.56. What should I go for now? Shorter barrel AR, AR-9. I like the idea of a shorter barrel AR. Obviously, for a really good home defense setup, something like that. But I will say too, if you look in the corner, right back here, that's my my Mark 12, and I really do thoroughly enjoy shooting out the distance with that. Of course, what would be really nice too, and something I've got to work on, is a bolt gun. A good bolt action rifle is also a lot of fun if you wanted to go a little bit more distance. If you want something a little bit more practical, something like that, maybe a little shorter configuration would be more your speed. But I don't know where you shoot, where you live, the next purpose of the gun that you want and whatnot. I used to say that all my guns served a purpose, and they still do. But a lot of them fall under the umbrella because I want them as my purpose. So, there's that. So let me know if you guys are under the same mindset for a lot of your stuff too. But anyway, personally, I'd go for something a little bit longer. I think the 16-inch 5.56 is perfect. Obviously, that's a good rifle and everything. Compact pistol, full-size pistol, you're set up there, but something a little bit longer. Stretch the distance some, I think would be pretty fun. But anyway, RY, I'm not lying. I'm playing Call of Duty while watching you. That's pretty freaking awesome. Sorry, you don't need to apologize. As long as you're having fun, that's what matters, man. Black Tactical, where's the beard? I had drill this past weekend, so had to all go away, and yeah, that, oh well. Next thing you know, I got to shave off as a couple of pounds to be able to pass the combat fitness test with flying colors. So anyway, Oh, man, Mark W., thanks, man. Thanks for the compliment. Appreciate it, guys. You guys are just all too nice. You're all too kind here, right over. Yeah, there it is again. Thanks, Tanner, for tuning in. Yes, exactly. It was a drill weekend. So there you go. What's up with you, Kyle? Thanks for tuning in. Every day we sling in lead, as it should be. That's freaking awesome. DDM4 in the thumbnail. Yes, if you guys saw the thumbnail, that was taken earlier at SHOT Show this year, and if you look closer to the end of it, that's that new EOTech, the new IR laser that's really compact and also allows you to. So in the world of IR, boom, here we go. I have a Steiner D-ball right here. I wonder. I'm looking because I might have a. I think my PEC 15 is somewhere else, but anyway, so here's a Steiner D-ball. Your visible and IR laser comes from this one. And then on this side over here, you have your illuminator. What that is under night vision is ultimately creating like faux daylight, right? So it's neat because you can actually adjust how wide it gets and how narrow it gets. If you want a larger field of view, there you go. If you want something that you need to see a little bit further down range with, there you go. It's kind of like increasing and decreasing your candela and your lumens on your white flashlight, but under night vision, right? And it doesn't give away your position because it's not visible to the naked eye. The reason I bring this up is because that new EOTech emitter has a switch on it. And again, if you look at the thumbnail pretty closely, it's sitting about right here. And it allows you to, with your offhand, or I should say your weak hand or non-dominant hand thumb, adjust that so you can actually adjust your IR illuminator without having to kind of screw with the actual turret itself on the lens. So it's a really neat feature. But yes, that is a Daniel Defense M4. We took a fun little video of me trying to like steal it because, you know, it's got the 203 grenade launcher on it. It's got the new EOTech on it, which they were kind enough at EOTech. I was like, hey, can I just borrow this for a couple minutes? I'm going to go film a quick skit over at Daniel. And they were cool enough to let me do that. Something brand new, unreleased to the public as of yet. And only with drill content or drill. I just saw Drill Weekend again, and that's obviously what's on my mind. But military contracts and stuff like that, so pretty funny. But anyway, so yes, that is the Daniel Defense M4 in the thumbnail with the noob tube. For those of you playing Call of Duty, yeah, well, good to see you guys in here. Thank you again. Got some more of the super chats coming through. Push through life hashtag PTL. Thanks for the $10 super chat. You're awesome, man. I really appreciate that. Coming in from, let's see, Rami Akrabawi. Got it, right? No one else will, so I will ask, why most gun shop owners, workers are so judgmental? FYI, you guys are awesome. I appreciate it, man. And I think ultimately it will definitely depend on your physical location, as is everywhere else that you go to. If you go into a store that's in Massachusetts, a store that's in Alabama might have different types of people in it, right? But when you say most gun shop owners or workers are so judgmental, are you referring to like if they assume things about you as soon as you walk in? Kind of like we always hear about the retail clerk behind the counter at a gun shop. A woman comes in and says she wants a concealed carry pistol. So they hand her a Ladysmith, right, 38 special revolver with, you know, pink grips on it or something like that, right? Is that the type of judgmental you're talking about, or do they just assume something negative about you because of whatever your culture might be? I don't know. For me, and I will stand by this, the Second Amendment, as every right in the Constitution, should be equally applied. No matter, you know, as long as you're an American citizen, there's your rights that are protected, right? So have those, right? But at the same time, people are of their own opinion, and individuals will be individuals, and you're going to get thoughts, judgment all around. I used to be bearded, another bearded white guy on YouTube talking about guns. There's not a lot of those. Anyway, going back to the live chat over here. Let's get to some of the more recent chats, and I'll scroll back up to some of the older ones too. But yeah, and talking about the discussion we're currently on, Iron Phoenix is stating people in general are judgmental. That's just human nature. It is what it is. You know, I try my best not to be judgmental, but if I see somebody, you know, who doesn't like to practice their dry fire reps, I'm going to judge them, you know, or if I see somebody still carrying a high point. Anyway, I crack myself up sometimes. Oh man. Navy Vet 713. Hey, Clint, how do y'all do y'all's features at cfcontest.com? I have been trying for 20 years on different sites and haven't won anything. It's been frustrating. So we utilize a random number generator, and you guys, in the terms and conditions, we got all the fine print, right? We use a system called Gleam. And ultimately, people utilize, you go to the website, right, and you find the way to get your entries and all that type of fun stuff. And then, you know, if you do one thing, you get 20. If you do another thing, you get 900, and so on and so forth, right? Like referring your friends and family. So the way that works is you get the more and more entries increases your likelihood, your percentage of being chosen by this random number generator. The number that is selected has an email attached to it. You have to utilize your email to get your entries, right? And so it's all random. It is very random. We've done it on live stream once with Premier Body Armor, but it's really difficult to do that, to kind of like share our screen and show that, especially live, because it also comes up with an individual's personal details. It goes beyond just their first name dot last initial and where they're located, right? Of course, it's going to give address, it's going to give email and everything else that they use to enter. So that's why we're not comfortable sharing much more information than we do, other than what's shown on the emails when we, you know, announce who the winner is, right? But again, it's all random. So that's what I've got for you. But yeah, if you're curious about what system it is, it's Gleam. All right. And there's been a lot of contestants that have won, because we have done a lot of those on the channel and the website. And well, we're going to keep doing it, because you guys seem to love them, especially coming up soon when we're going to have 4 rifles that are going to go to 4 individuals. And let's just say these rifles, they're cool, and they're featured in the new series that's coming out very soon. So I hope you guys are pretty excited about that. All right. Thank you, Jojo Capone TV. Appreciate it, man. Thanks for tuning in, and thank you for understanding. I appreciate that. There's a lot of people that definitely don't understand and get a little upset by it. Oh, there goes my microphone. Probably doing things like that, throwing around their microphone. But anyway, there you go. First timer, y'all love, appreciate it. Thank you for tuning in. You guys are the freaking best, man. I swear. First timer tuning in, that's awesome. So feel free, you know, you guys welcome everybody too that's tuning in for the first time. Absolutely love that. All right, so we need, Jimmy Chitwood is saying, we need more info from the left-handed variety. Alec, come back. You know, I think it's so funny. Obviously, Alec left quite the impression, because in every video, in every live stream, we're asked, why won't Alec come back? And of course, if you guys have been watching now, I've mentioned Alec actually left the company and he started his own business, and he wanted to be an entrepreneur, and God bless him, that's what he's doing. So Alec, if you're watching, the people want you back, man. I've been trying to twist his arm and say, hey, dude, drop in for at least like a cameo or something. I think would be a lot of fun if all of a sudden there was a top 5 fight again. He's got to do it. I mean, he just freaking has to. But anyway, at least get up there. And I mean, you know, I don't think Ben would have a problem if he shouted out his personal company. I don't know, you know. Anyway, let's go ahead. Let's get to a couple more of the chats here. Let me scroll back up from where I left off. I know I see a lot of you guys in here. What's up, Clint? What's up? What's up? Good to see you guys. Thank y'all so much. What's up with you, Rebel Sniper 16? Appreciate it. And let's see. Oh, yeah. Well, David, I just answered your question there about what happened to Alec. There you go. By the way, you guys are spelling his name wrong. It's A-L-E-K. I know. He's weird. But anyway. You have the same chair. You don't like this chair? I like it. Then again, I don't know. I've gotten really used to discomfort, I guess. But anyway, it's pretty good. Let's see here. Hello from Central North Carolina. Good to see you as well. Semper Fi, Colin. Semper Fi, Semper Fi. And someone say Mag Dump Monday. Of course, like the icon that you have there. Perfect. And if you guys were out mag dumping on this glorious Monday, what were you shooting? Were you having a good time? And cheers to you guys. If you guys are having a drink with me, I'm enjoying yet again my 10-year Lafroig. That's just a basic Lafroig, by the way. I love my peaty smoky. I can't speak, guys. I love my peaty smoky scotches. All right. Solancha. All right. Let's move on here. Otter. If you're considering being in the military of Fed, I am a Marine reservist. I've got news for you. There are a lot of individuals in our armed services that don't trust the federal government. We see how it's run every day. I'll leave it at that, all right? And you might be saying, well, why are you still in? You know, it's good to get all the information and everything else you possibly can. And besides, I'm a non-obligated reservist. I can literally drop at any point in time. Just saying, so it's pretty nice. But anyway. Oh, man. Let's see. This is interesting. Coming from South, talking about something a little bit more serious here. Hey, Clint, I need help. ATF seized a parts kit from me in my gun shop, and I think I want to sue them. Do you have recommendations I can get anyone to back to me? To get anyone to get back to me. So obviously we're going to need some more information here, right? I'm sure you probably don't want to share, too much about what you've got going on, but the ATF is actually not in a really great spot right now. There's been several members of Congress, actually, that have come out and have actually said what is very obvious, that federal agencies like the FBI, like the ATF, are under a lot of scrutiny and have lost a majority of the trust in the general public today. And, it used to be so many years ago where you kind of like grew up trusting these agencies, like they did good jobs at stopping these bank robbers and bad guys. And that's why they, were able to force through so many unconstitutional laws like the National Firearms Act, again, way back in the day. And then, of course, over many decades of so many instances of wrongdoings, the public is starting to realize a lot of these three-letter agencies are really overstepping and overreaching and actually are tyrannical, right? And that's not a word to be used lightly. I know it gets thrown around all the time, but when you actually look at what these agencies are doing, it is quite... Look at the comment right here. Tyrannical, right? A parts kit was seized. What was the parts kit? What is a full auto parts kit? Was it just a polymer 80? You know what I mean? Like, again, don't say too much, right? Because anything you say can and will be used against you type of thing, right? I should probably heed my own advice on these live streams sometimes. But anyway, fuck them. So continuing on, Gun Owners of America, I've got obviously really good contacts over there. So Sal, DM me if you're on Instagram, magdump_Morgan. I will actually pull it up right now because I've been very bad at keeping up with my DMs. I'm very sad about that. So I will try to get a little bit more information from you if you are on Instagram, like I said, and let me just see if you've responded a little bit more recently here, anything like that. But if you're still watching, DM me, and I'll see if we can help you out a little bit because, well, I don't agree with that bullshit. So there you got it, all right? Anyway, let's see here. ATF, Magdump, solid. ATF is that kid who became hall monitor in Power Trips. Yeah, Or if we want to talk a little bit, Simper Gumby to you as well. But if you want to talk a little bit more about that, I mean, we see that in, the military also. Somebody picks up a little rank, even though, and they never stood up for themselves as a kid and never actually had any type of authority, never actually managed people, something like that. And they become terrible leaders, but somehow they kiss ass to their leadership and they pick up rank and get all sorts of medals and shit like that. Politics, man. Gotta love it, right? But anyway, treat every ATF visit as a home invasion. It's one way of looking at it. Rusty, good to see you. I think that was pretty much to the point there. So, you guys can decide to tune in for as long as you want if you want to. Also, like the John McClane there, I've got my AP5 sitting over there. I couldn't find it for a second. But anyway, let's see here. Kyle Brown. Clint, I built an AR-10 after watching one of your videos. Thanks for the knowledge. It has become my favorite shooter. I love the AR-10. I've got mine's actually in the safe right now, the one that I built out in Aero Precision. And I've got the SIG Spear. Let me hide that really quick. It's sitting, well, now my name and everything's blocking it. But anyway, SIG Spear sitting right behind the Tactical Cross. And, yeah, solid. Did you build it in 762, 308, 65 Creedmoor? You know, let me know what you built it in, all right? But anyway, we've got another super chat that came in here. And Sam is saying, I once won a DR920 Elite in a raffle from a local gun shop that I entered because why not? Enter to win giveaways? You never know. That's pretty cool. So congratulations. The DR920 by Shadow Systems is also an excellent gun. So that is a pretty sweet prize. All right. Congratulations to you, man. That's great. And, you know, we haven't done too many pistol features at cfcontest.com. And for those of you that are wondering what cfcontest.com is and why I won't use a certain G word, just go to cfcontest.com to see what I'm talking about. But anyway, we haven't featured a pistol there in a while. And if we were, would you like to see something like the EG11 from Type A Firearms? If you don't know what I'm talking about, go look at that pistol, because that thing, first of all, it's hella stupid of expensive, but it looks sick. And, you know, I'm willing to try it out. You know what I'm saying? So there you go. Wow. This is a good question, because the Law Huns is wanting to know, hey, Clint, what do you think about the FN 510 Tactical? I have yet to shoot it. Yep, I have yet to shoot it. I couldn't remember if I shot it at SHOT Show or not. I only saw it at SHOT Show. And initial impressions are this. Fucking cool. It is everything you want in a combat pistol chambered in 10 millimeter. The trigger for a striker fired gun is fantastic. They did such a good job on that. Compare that to the 509 and it is night and day. The 509 I always thought was really gritty and stuff like that. And if you go back and watch our SHOT Show coverage of FN, they call me out, right? They said, hey, we watched your videos. We heard the end user's feedback. We just try this trigger. And I did. And the 510 and 545 are fantastic triggers. So they did a great job there. Capacity is phenomenal. You got the optics cut. You got everything you want in a combat pistol chambered in 10 mil. So my initial thoughts are it's fantastic and I want one or two. So there you have it. All right. All right, cool. Let's see here. Andy Dom 130, Clint, thank you for your service, and I plan on joining the Marine Corps Reserves. Have you ever been overseas? And if you did, you get to take bourbon. So have I been overseas? Yes. Have I ever been into a combat zone? No. Have I ever seen combat, been even close to it? No. All right. Have I got to do some pretty cool things like pull string on artillery and move, you know, heavy stuff around? Yeah, sure. And that's always pretty cool, right? And no, typically you don't get to bring your own alcohol. At least that's been my experience. It's usually very much so a big no. But also typically the places we go to had alcohol in a vicinity close by. Sometimes that vicinity would be 100 miles, but you'd find ways. All right. So, and to be completely honest with you, Andy, I don't think that should be your main concern if you could take bourbon with you. I will say this. So, you know, I personally have had a really positive experience thus far in the Marine Reserves. But with everything else that's going on in the world right now, I'll be honest with you. The military is changing. You know, it's not what it once was. And with everything else that's happening in the world, it's kind of like, is it even worth it? Right? We just saw this past Friday, Thursday or Friday, the president had reactivated, about 3,000 or 3,500 reservists and IRR, that's the individual ready reserve. Those are individuals that have gotten out of the military, but their contract hasn't expired, right? So typically look at it this way. If an active duty service member signs up for 4 years, it's typically an 8-year contract. You do 4 years active, and then you have 4 years where you're in the IRR, and the United States military can call you up and say, hey, we need the manpower. Come work for us. You don't have a choice. So the Marine Corps Reserves, when I signed up, it was a 6-year obligated contract, and then you have 2 years that you're in the IRR, or you can just continue to drill, right? So you have all these different obligations, and like I said, it's not what it used to be. I want to say that, you know, a lot of the units in the Marines have kind of maintained a lot of their core, if that's what you want to call it. But again, it's it's not all the same. So, take that for what you will. But yeah, Sir Spartan, how did I not know you stream on Twitch? Yes, we are on Twitch. Kaya usually does some gaming, I think. And that's that. MOS is I am a 2311 ammo tech. I am now an ammo chief. And so far, so good. All right. But let's see here. Let's get to here. Clint, is the SIG Spear LT and 762x39 worth it? I want to say if you want a 762x39 with the AR ergonomics and controls, but also that short stroke piston driven design and the modularity of the SIG Spear, then yeah, it's pretty sweet. But also, have you seen the issues with the barrel sway and that, right? It's something to mention, but I will say the Spear LT chambered in 762x39 reliably feeds 762x39 mags, which is pretty funny. AR mags, so there's that, or at least again been my experience here on the channel and everything. So all right, boom. Second Sun Photography. Haven't heard much about the 338. Is ammo easier to find than 6.5? 6.5 is going to be easier for you. And let's see here, Ty Evertson, what's up, Clint? Just got back from picking up the new Springfield Echelon. Have you shot it yet? My man, midnight, our video dropped of us running drills with this gun and everything when that gun was finally released, and it is sweet. Springfield did a really, really good job with that. By the way, no, I have not forgotten about Springfield Armory's anti-2A legislation way back when with Rock River Arms. Side note, I have spoken to Springfield Armory employees who have, again, these are employees, right? But at different shows, you start to get to know people and meet people and things like that. And I can tell you right now that those decisions that were made for that legislation were on people that, let's just say, don't represent the company or shouldn't have represented the company. And they didn't represent the company well. With that, the employees at Springfield Armory, every last one of them that I've talked to at least, are very pro 2A and are looking to actually join the fight in standing up for the Second Amendment. And yes, I will say this. Make sure you actually stand behind those words. Classic Firearms, for instance, yes, the company that I am sitting here representing and everything else, our name has been on Pro 2A legislation multiple times. Thank you, Gun Owners of America, right? As has a lot of other industries or a lot of other companies in the industry, including Tactical Shit, T-Rex Arms, Brownells, a bunch of other of our competitors even. And I look at it this way, we might be competitors in the industry, but at the end of the day, we are all allies in the fight to preserve the Second Amendment, right? That's great, cool. Now, with that being said, Springfield Armory, if you're watching, go and actually fight for the Second Amendment and don't let your reputation be tarnished from something you did a few years back. That being said, the Echelon is a pretty badass pistol, and it does feel pretty good, all right? So there you go. All right, here. Boom. James Shao 296. My fiance got me the EOTech EXPS for my birthday. I knew she was the one. Solid. I've got the 300 Blackout EXPS. Nope, that's not an E. But I got one right there, and I've got my Mark 18 5.56 upper sitting right here. I won't pick it up and hold it because maybe through the algorithms of YouTube and things like that, they'll see that it looks like a gun and cancel the stream. But anyway, that I do have the EXPS tan on, and that is solid, all right? Which is also funny that I talk about that because there's also a magnifier right behind that. So, hey, Clint, do you use a red dot with a magnified optic? Oh, I would misread and thought magnifier. Do you use a red dot with a magnified optic or just use the bend and aiming with a magnified optic? On my Mark 12, sitting right back here, I have a 4-12, I want to say it is, variable optic with a Trijicon RMR red dot offset. I am personally a big fan of the bend and aiming concept. It works really, really well, except whenever you start getting into those like really high magnified optics, then you start to kind of lose that effect a little bit. But as long as you have an illuminated reticle, that works, pretty good. But I will say that I like the idea of a red dot in conjunction with your magnified optic. For instance, sitting on the SIG Spear LT 11.5-inch AR pistol over here, I do have the 4-power Trijicon ACOG with a RMR set up on the top front of the optic itself. So I have different ways of running that. I would say learn the bend and aiming concept, right? That's when you keep both eyes open while you're shooting through a magnified optic, for those of you that don't know. Learn that, get good with it, and if you find yourself struggling or lacking some, purchase a red dot then. Save the money, get good with the stuff you have, right? So there you go. Crawl, walk, run type of shit. All right. That's my thoughts on that. Clint, how many SBRs do you own? Don't. How many SBRs do I not own? I have one SBR. I'll leave it at that. All right. And boom. Do you know when the FN Reflex MRD will be in stock? Sorry, keep asking, but I've been waiting for the MRD for months now. I don't. I honestly do not know. Sorry, I can't answer your question any better than that. All right. Oh, man. Willie T888. Cheers, brother, to us all being on the same page. The 2A page, which reminds me, Blackout Coffee Co. My buddy Jared, Guns and Gadgets. He's a part owner of Blackout Coffee. They're really good. I'm not drinking the coffee right now. I have scotch in here, but I just wanted to shout them out, being Pro 2A and everything else. A coffee company that's actually Pro 2A I like a lot. And the coffee I do drink is the No Compromise GOA collaboration. How about that? It would be nice to see some of the other bigger coffee companies actually hop on board with that, right? Anyway, we've got another super chat up in here. Matt Scamizzi. I hope I got that right. Thank you, man. Thank you so much for that. Hey, Clint, looks like IMI ammo stacked behind you. It is. What are your thoughts on it? Looking at buying some 77 grain 5.56 to give it a try. It is fantastic. It is really good ammo, and I am definitely a fan of it. This stuff, again, this is the IMI Systems Razor Core. This is the 77 grain open tip match that is super accurate, and I have shot this stuff out to 700 yards with my buddy Brandon, Texas Plinking, his one of his Mark 12s, and has had really good success with that. And Brandon, who, again, Texas Plinking, who actually has a lot more long-distance shooting experience than I do. He, if you follow his page, you see all the different collaborations he does and how cool it is. He says that this stuff actually performs just as good, if not better, than the actual Black Hills Mark 262 ammo, which this is pretty similar. So I find that to be pretty interesting, because this stuff, I can find it a little bit more readily available and a little bit more inexpensive. So that's cool. I'm a big fan, and I love the 77 grain open tip match. All right. Oh, thank you again for the super chat. Best caliber for truck gun. Where are you? If you're in New York City, I would probably say 300 blackout, right? Because honestly, actually, all around 300 blackout. I think that's probably a really, really good caliber for close quarters. And even if you needed, again, let's be completely real here, the likelihood of actually grabbing your truck gun and engaging a target out to 200 to 300 yards with it, not likely. Also not likely, needing your truck gun. More likely, your concealed carry. I would focus a lot on your concealed carry and making sure you're set up there, right? But however, that's not to say that it won't happen. Just placing a likelihood on things. As far as a truck gun goes, though, personally, a 300 blackout, and what I like about 300 blackout is it can be a little bit more compact. You're still getting pretty much all of the advantages out of the caliber out of a shorter barrel too, which is great. And if you want to play the NFA game, short barrel it, right? If you want to play the game, short barrel it. Get a silencer for it, things like that, right? Again, it's a lot that you probably don't need at the end of the day, and I can be very real about that, but this shit is fun, right? And I love having it, so do it. But I think 300 blackout is a good overall. It's going to take down a lot of threats too, and that includes wildlife. All right, I'm just saying, So I don't know. Do you guys agree, disagree? Let me know down in the comments. Also, I don't know if you guys are familiar with this or not, but there's a lot of laws in the books, depending on what state you're in, that ultimately state you cannot drive around with a loaded rifle in your car. North Carolina is one of those states. There's, again, a lot of them too, even ones that are typically a little bit more conservative and pro 2A. You'll notice, for whatever reason, that's a law. You can't drive around with a loaded gun. So either keep your magazine separated from the rifle, stuff like that, in case you ever get pulled over. I can tell you right now, since I've been working with this company, I've been pulled over twice, and I have had a truck full of loaded firearms, and I have gotten off twice, especially when I invite them to the range with me. But I will say, I was pulled over in Monroe doing like 60 and a 45, whatever, sue me. And this day we were headed to the range, and I don't remember the officer's name, but he did give me a written warning. And I will never forget, I had my Mark 18, so there's a NFA item, 3 suppressors, 2 Barrett 50 cals. We had an M107 and an M82 in the trunk. I also had the semi-auto 249 saw, a shit ton of ammo, my Mark 12, and a couple of other rifles. And my Mark 18 was in my Grayman Tactical rugged Molly panel, whatever, completely loaded, all the way to one in the chamber and everything, because, YOLO. That's how you live life, man. And the officer looked. I let him know, hey, I'm traveling with a firearm. A lot of them, yeah, you got me. I was speeding. My bad. I was just keeping up with the flow of traffic, whatever. And looks back and, what do you do? I said, I do social media and YouTube for a firearms company. If you ever wanted to see the place, come stop by or something. Yeah, I got a written warning, so there you go. There you have that. But I will just tell you right now, it is technically breaking the law for traveling with a loaded firearm, a loaded rifle that you can access from the driver's seat. All right. Anyway, probably a much longer question than what you guys cared to, or a longer story than what you guys cared to listen to, but it was kind of funny, and I wasn't put in handcuffs, so that was cool. I would consider that an absolute win. Anyway, yes, Pro 2A, for sure. And continuing on here, let me see what some of you guys have said. Also, Tanner, always good to see you, bro. Thanks for tuning in, man. I have EOTech on multiple guns and calibers. Love EOTech. Wanting to get an Aimpoint T2. I also have that sitting on my Stag competition gun over there. Which gun caliber would you favor the T2 over EOTech application also? If I'm being completely honest with you guys, I think what's probably a better home defense optic would be the Aimpoint T2, because of the battery life, and you can keep that thing on all the time. The EOTechs will die out over time. They have more expensive batteries, things like that. Is that big of a deal? No. I mean, of course, they'll all die out over time, but the EOTech has a much less battery life than the red dots do. And the T2 is damn near indestructible. Definitely one of the most durable, high-quality red dots that you can find out there. So with that being said, I will say that I think the Aimpoint T2, it's difficult. Which gun caliber would you favor the T2 over EOTech application also? Like I said, home defense, I think I want the T2. Granted, I know this, but I still like to run that. I have the 300 Blackout specific EOTech, which doesn't make sense also for home defense, because I don't need a BDC for my home defense gun. But here I am, right? I'm just telling you, but I also use it for video. So there's that. Competition, definitely the T2. It's lighter, durable. It's gonna run just fine. So if you want to slim down on weight a little bit, like a duty gun, something like that, yeah, probably the T2 still. Something like a patrol rifle, probably the T2. So that's how I feel about that. But anyway, that's how I feel about it. Let me know in the chat if you guys agree. Offer Tanner some recommendations there too. All right, but yeah, easy to zero for sure. Let's see here. James Shaw 296. Clint, you spiked and fueled my gun hobby. Is there an address I can send you a bottle of my favorite bourbon? Now we're talking. hey, you know what? You can find the Classic Firearms address, and I think you can at least, through a Google search or something or whatever. But anyway, don't worry about it. I appreciate that, though. If you ever see me in public, you can offer to buy me a beer or something, and I will totally take you up on it, all right? So anyway, I appreciate that, though. That means a lot, honestly. It's always great to hear from you guys that say that I've either inspired you to build your own rifle, which I think is like the biggest compliment. So thank you for those of you that have. And then, of course, just being thankful to, I don't know, you guys are thanking me enough by tuning in on your Monday evening. So thank you guys. All right. But anyway, let's see. Jaron Wilson, constitutional carry here and loaded long guns and vehicles all day long. Where are you located? I'm curious. That's pretty sweet. So that's great. Yes, the T2 does have Tony. Hey, what's up, man? Good to see you. Yes, I do believe the T2 does have night vision modes. And what's cool about red dots also is they'll actually pick up under night vision. It just, the night vision setting is just a lot easier. It's more night vision friendly. It's not going to be, it's pretty much overexposing your night vision at the end of the day. But if you ever use like a red dot on a pistol and then brought up your night vision, it's going to be the same concept, right? So anyway, that's passive aiming. Because you're, the way I remember that is you're passing through the optic to be able to see what your target and your reticle type of thing with your night vision. Active aiming is you're actively pressing a laser. I think I got that right. Sometimes I get them confused because I think too much. But anyway, hey, I just want to throw this out there. Tony, this is the guy to go to if you've got questions about shoes, what's in style, things like. I'm just throwing it out there. Tony, man, thank you for tuning in, man. It's good to see you. All right. And we know each other from Instagram and stuff like that. So, dude, thanks for tuning in, bro. But anyway, it's Hungry 40s. Appreciate that. Clint is the reason I'm in debt. Dude, I'm the reason I'm in debt. All right? I feel you. I do it to all of us. But anyway, thank you so much, man. Tony, a cool guy. Yep. Thank you, Joshua, for tuning in, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, there you are again. Oh, I just clicked on a different one, but while I'm here, Sir Spartan, I bought a couple of frames for $99 for the pair, but have not found a good sale on the slides for the right color and barrel yet. Cool. I love that you guys have these different conversations happening with one another too in the chat. I think that's so damn cool. You guys make friends here, all right? But thanks, man. You're the guy. Go to guns. So good to see you, man. Yeah, so again, more of you guys in here. What am I missing here? What are you guys talking about? I'm curious. Kevin, there it is. Hey, Clint, I'm looking at getting into hog hunting, hopefully in the near future. What caliber do you recommend? And as I just had him up here, now I can't see it. My bad. Oh, there it is. Kevin. Yeah. So Pepetti's Nuts suggested 300 blackout. And yes, I do too. You can actually go 300 blackout, like on a 16-inch gun with a can with your, again, I'm assuming night shooting as well, with some IR. And the reason I recommend even a longer barrel for this is that added velocity, because those pressures are still building and things like that. So that takes effect. But yeah, that would be a pretty solid setup. All right. And so, yeah, he's absolutely right suggesting the 300 blackout caliber. All right. And Tony, Clint is the reason for my Mark 18. Solid. That's what I'm talking about. Let's see here. First AR build or buy. This one's always a difficult one. I would say build. No, I would say buy. Buy it. Buy your first AR and make sure it's a quality one. Make sure it's one you can go to if it's a shit hits the fan situation, right? Which, by the way, this Thursday, this next video of our feature at cfcontest.com should be pretty funny. We got a lot of good video on it. I did my best acting yet. I'm sure you guys are gonna love it. And anyway, let's see here. Oh, really? Anyway, so I just saw that actually a gunnery sergeant at my old unit, he's selling his truck, and he's got a pretty sweet Tacoma that is built out nice. So Gunny Taylor, how much is a friends and family pricing for that? But anyway, I would say buy your first AR-15. Make sure it's a quality one. Get the training, get the ammo, get a good optic, get a good sling, the so on and so forth, right? And then once you kind of get comfortable with that, start building that out kind of how you want it, right? Replace this, replace that, upgrade this, upgrade that. And I'm talking basic stuff, right? As far as the internals go and everything, leave that. There's a reason why a lot of manufacturers, especially ones that are trusted with reliability, like look at Glock. Everybody can agree that a Glock is a very reliable pistol. It's whenever you start taking all the stuff and doing all the fancy things and lightening this and you know, soft spring that and whatever and what else, all of a sudden you start running into reliability issues. So furniture stuff, you know, stock, grip, maybe safety, you know, maybe it came with a regular safety, you want to put on an ambi safety. Maybe it came with a Picatinny rail, but you want to throw on an M-Lock rail. Little things like that really helped me start to learn along the way. And it was great. And I knew I still had a reliable rifle at its core. I'm not saying I don't trust you and your, you know, your capabilities, but at the end of the day, something I know that I made personally as not a professional gunsmith, gun builder, manufacturer, simply won't be as reliable as my off-the-shelf LWRCI or Daniel Defense or whatever else it might be. I just know that. I don't have the tooling. I don't have the micrometers. I don't have everything as specific to building a rifle that these manufacturers that have been doing it for years and have invested far more money than I have into building a rifle they're going to be more reliable and accurate at the end of the day, I believe, right? Granted, I have built some very expensive rifles that we've given away. I said that, didn't I? That we have featured here on the channel before. And I will say, though, I think that rifle was beautiful. I loved it. And it was pieced together from all of the most high-end stuff. I mean, it was literally our high-end AR of our high-end AR or our AR build series. And it was pieced together with some of the most expensive stuff you could find. And the rifle did shoot really, really good. But I also made sure I did everything right. You know, everything from torquing down this, torquing down that, making sure that the gas block was installed correctly, correct torque specs, greasing up everything that you're supposed to grease up, like the barrel nut and all that, and how the rail locks in, making sure all that's torqued down. So whoever has that, by the way, I'm really upset, actually. I put my heart and soul into that gun, and I loved it, and I haven't heard from you. I am hurt. So anyway, buy your first one, build your second, go on from there. That's how I feel about that. That was a really long answer. Anyway, Tyler, good to see you, dude. Tyler and I, this is one of my best friends for everybody. I heart you too. He is also in the Marines with me, and he is 1 month behind me in being a staff sergeant. So make sure you stand up parade rest when you speak to me. All right, anyway. Good to see you, bro. Anyway, oh man, it's good to screw with each other. All right, here. Let's see. Yeah, I feel you, Ty. The Spear LT, solid gun. But I don't know about that barrel. You know, that I know on a lot of guns they do that a little bit, but I feel like the Spear LT has a lot of that. If you don't know what I'm talking about, like that barrel shift, look at, again, T-Rex Arms. There's a lot of other companies that have actually done some legitimate testing about how if the barrel has any tension placed on it whatsoever, it'll kind of like stay there and really throw off your zero. It's not good. Granted, how big of a deal is that? It could be a big deal. So I'm sure we'll have testing like that on a few of ours in the future. All right. Let's see here. The Lawns. Here's for another round of Scotch Brothers salute. Hey, thank you, man. So, Solancha, to you. Cheers. Thank you, guys. All right. This is a good question. Daniel's asking, anyone is buying a suppressor really worth it? Because that's a lot of money that could go to other guns. True. That is true. It could go to other guns. Could go to training. Could go to a new optic. Could go to something else, right? But it depends on what you want to place your priority on. A lot of people say, I got plenty of guns. Let me actually, and this is something I personally do agree with, as I am surrounded with everything that I am surrounded here. I like the idea of quality over quantity, right? At the end of the day, I like the idea of, for those of you that are out there that has maybe 20 guns in their collection, but most of them are base ARs and they're not doing much for you at all other than collecting dust in your safe. Sell them and make one really legit, badass, trustworthy, accurate rifle that has everything you could ever ask for on it. and then go train with it and train like hell with it. Shoot out that damn barrel, replace that barrel twice, and keep shooting, right? Go out there and actually use the firearms that you have. I am kind of a hypocrite because, yes, I have plenty of Safe Queens, but I also look at them as kind of being like collectibles, right? Especially ones that are more sentimental that I inherited from my dad when he died. Those I can never separate with, you know what I mean? So, Ed Tyler, my buddy, just texted me. Wow. You're welcome, dude. Anyway, but, you know, I get it. And also, I will say this. I think a lot of silencers, too, are starting to actually kind of drop a little bit in price. You know, with modern manufacturing, 3D printing, things like that, they're actually becoming a little bit easier to make, and they're lasting. I mean, they're outperforming a lot of the big names that are out there too. There's one silencer that I'm going to be testing soon that I'm trying to remember the name of. I have, you know, 4 of them in right now. You'd think I'd remember this. It's a newer company, but I know the guys over there pretty well, and they want to try them out. Disavowed, that's what it was. Disavowed Group, I think it was. Disavowed Group. And so I'm curious to try those out. They have the similar type of flow-through technology. They're super lightweight. They look good. So, you know, we'll check them out and see what happens with that soon. But anyway, I think silencers are worth it. I love them. The biggest downfall about silencers, or the biggest con when it comes to them, is the National Firearms Act and ultimately having to register them. At the end of the day, they are a safety device. The NFA shouldn't exist, and lesser that, silencers shouldn't even be on the NFA, right? Again, it's so, you know, mind-blowing to me that in Europe they're actually kind of like a gentleman's device. It's not, you know, it's not appropriate for you to go and shoot your 3-round bolt action rifle for your hunting game and scare off the game for the neighboring hunter. You know what I mean? You should have a silencer on your rifle. And they're a very common thing in Europe. But here they're like this assassin's tool, which is so untrue. I mean, I know I'm, you know, preaching to the choir here, but at the end of the day, the ATF shouldn't exist. Neither should the NFA, and the shit's dumb. But personally, I love silencers. So, you know, that's that. But anyway, Tim is wanting to know what I think about the PWS in 7.62x39, and I think they're freaking awesome. Primary weapon systems make awesome guns. Imagine, if you will, the AK-47 and the AR-15 got together. You got the long stroke piston-driven system of the AK thrown into the AR body. It's pretty cool. And chambered in 7.62x39 feels a lot like an AK, but with AR ergonomics. It's freaking dope. So, yeah, I like them a lot. And they're super reliable, and they run like hell. So, and they are one of the, talking about suppressors, they have I don't remember how many positions there are, but there's a lot. But anyway, it's got an adjustable gas system in it already, and these are excellent suppressor hosts. Just want to throw that out there. PWS, fantastic suppressor hosts. By the way, we got a couple more of the super chats coming in here, so thank you guys for those. And let's see here. Thank you, Leonard Stone, so much for tuning in, man. Are you a tattoo artist? Where are you out of? I'm always looking for more tattoos. But anyway, thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. Hungry 40s. This is actually I feel like this could become a series. I feel like on Outside the Warehouse, maybe once a month, we get you guys to submit your loadouts. And I have a feeling that we're going to get a bunch of like Gucci high-end shit that's going to be like, damn, that's freaking nice. That costs as much as my house type of stuff. And then we're going to get like high points. This is my everyday carry. This is my go to war kit. And then, you know, it's going to be like a sub 2000 and a, you know, Yeet Cannon 9. You know what I mean? Yeah, to each their own, you know, but balling on a budget, dude. You do what you got to do. All right. But anyway, I think that would be a lot of fun. In fact, before I forget, I'm just going to put it in, I got a group chat for work. Rate my loadout vids. We should do it. That's all I'm going to put. And I think that would actually make some good outside the warehouse content. And we'll see. I think that's pretty funny, though. Anyway, let's see here. Got the one for the round of scotch. Thank you so much, man. We've got Leonard Stone back here. I am an aspiring gunsmith and hope to have my own business in the near future. What advice do you give for someone looking to contribute to the 2A community industry? I've mentioned something like this before because what's really cool is there's a lot of you that tune in, that watch the live streams, that watch the channel, and you guys are so passionate about firearms, you're passionate about the industry that you want to get involved in it. And I will tell you, it's going to be a challenge. At the end of the day, anything that you want to start up and actually start making money on, it's going to be a challenge. And, so take that for what you will, but ultimately do this. Your business practice should be something around quality work, and go in with the mindset of you're not doing it for the money. You're doing it because you love it and you want to provide quality work, quality product to somebody who might use your product in a defensive situation, in a life or death situation. You go in with that kind of mindset, I do believe you would actually be set up for it to succeed. So again, that mindset means that you're going to be doing everything you can to make sure that you're producing something that somebody can use to protect their lives and their loved ones with. All right. So as far as my advice goes, that's how I'd feel about it. All right. I hope that you appreciate that. I hope that works for you. But that's probably my best advice. And also, go to make allies, be friends with local gun shops, stuff like that. And, just say, hey, would you guys mind just putting up a couple of these? I built them and let's just see how they move. Something like that. I don't see there being an issue with that. You know what I mean? So there you go. Anyway, thanks Leonard for tuning in, man. Thanks for the super chat. It means a lot. And I hope that helps. All right. Tanner, again, thanks, man. Appreciate you. You and Ryan should do a top 10 of your favorite guns you own. I ain't doing that video. Give me some new options to buy. Watch a video, buy a gun, repeat. How about top 10 favorite guns we have in the video room? I like that idea more. All right. But yeah, maybe just top 10 favorite guns in the warehouse or something like that. I think that'd be pretty fun. Thoughts on the PSA Jackal 8.5 300 Blackout. Thanks, Zombie Plays, again for the super chat. And Palmetto Stud Arms has been doing some really interesting things lately. Have you guys seen the M110 clone that they recently came out with? And look, they are a direct competitor. I'll be honest with you. But at the end of the day, I see something like that, I'm going to be like, I think I kind of want that. All right. Just throwing that out there. But the Jackal 8.5 and 300 Blackout, it's a cool gun. I don't have any experience with it personally, but from what I've seen from others online and things like that, and from what I've heard from people that actually own it, they seem to like it quite a bit. So take that for what you will. All right. So, but appreciate you for the super chat. Jeremy Scott, thank you, man. Oh, like the thumbnail there. That's or your icon. What is that? A B17 with the members there. That's pretty cool. Anyway, just picked up a Savage Axis Precision 2 in 6.5 Creedmoor. What are your thoughts on it? So what I love about the Savage Axis is the fact that it's an affordable rifle. Out of the box, it's ready to go. My biggest advice to you is to make sure that stock screw is tightened down. And if it came with an optic, I will say this, and you might see it in the bolt gun series too. We talk about this. I don't want to spoil anything, but I do want to lend a helping hand. What I will say is if it came with an optic, to make sure that those screws, that everything's torqued down and equal. What I noticed is that one side of the actual, I thought I had like a scope rings here somewhere near me, but I try to have a lot of like props to use in video and wind up not using anything I put in front of me. But anyway, so like here's can't talk about that yet. Anyway, so I thought I had another optic over here. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is the scope rings, make sure they're tightened down equally and with enough torque. What we noticed is that it was kind of lopsided, and that can actually place tension on the scope, and that can shift as you're shooting, and that's not good. What you need to do, what you want to make sure is that you're tightening it down kind of like in a grid pattern, right? And so you want to make sure that it's just tightened down equally to the correct torque, all right? But other than that, the Savage Axis Precision 2 is an awesome gun. 6.5 Creedmoor, you went great there. I'm a 7.62 308 guy. I love it. But at the end of the day, I'm also going to be the one to say, hey, 6.5 Creedmoor is a better performing round. All right. But anyway, if you disagree with me, you're wrong. But anyway, Adam reads, talk more about the thing you can't talk about. Right. Oh, man. Hi, everyone. Much love from PH. All about survival. PH. Ghost Shadow, $2. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate that so much. Thank you guys again for the super chats. Y'all are awesome. Many shops won't sell AR products in Washington now. That sucks. Ask them if they'll meet you in the parking lot. Anyway, register a muffler. Going back to the silencer talk. Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's ridiculous. It is at the end of the day a muffler. You know, that's all there is to it. Homie Doom. Hey, Clint, do you have any recommendations for AR lowers to pair with the SIG Spear LT 556 upper? Be careful with that. I need to try this myself, but I don't think they can go on just any lower. I need to double check that because there's something about the way the rear of the upper receiver meets to the lower receiver, the rear of the lower receiver. There's just something, if it opens and hinges like this, here's your front takedown pin up here, right? There's something about how the upper receiver mates to the lower back here that sometimes gets a little finicky. So depending on what your lower is, I think it might work. So I'll have to double check on that. And, you know, tune in next live stream. I'll check it this week, all right? But anyway, let's see here. I know I missed quite a few of y'all's chats too. I want to go back and catch a couple of them. Can't be called. So yeah, going back, Crunchy Taco 05, going back to a little bit what I was talking about before with you guys being in the chat and everything. Can't be called a community if we ain't doing community things. Am I right? Yeah, community outreach for more guns. I love it. So there you go. All right. So here we go. Corn Pops _ Wonder Waffle. One does not build an AR. He assembles it. Like an erector set, except even easier. So this is another debated thing. Silencer, suppressor. It's technically a silencer, but what does it actually do? It suppresses, right? A lot of people, like Corn Pops here, will say, hey, that parts kit that you picked up, you didn't build that AR, you assembled it. Okay. You got me on a technicality at the end of the day. No, I didn't forge any of this stuff. No, I didn't go and source any of the metals. No, I didn't actually install the lands and grooves or hammer forge the barrel myself. I get it. All right. I get it. Whatever. What do y'all call it? Do you call it building an AR or assembling an AR? Doesn't sound as cool when you say assembling, right? So maybe that's just what it is. All right. But anyway, let's say you've been watching Tony since you were a freshman. That's pretty cool, man. What weapon light do y'all recommend? There's a lot of them out there. Mod light, obviously. Surefire, Streamlight. What's the setup? Are you talking about a pistol light, rifle light? I will say this. I am a big fan of the Surefire Scout series, right? I mean, there's one sitting right here. This one actually is a also an IR producing light, which is pretty cool. I think we can have a video with that coming soon. And I also have the Surefire. You can kind of see it. It's a little blurry on my Mark 12 over here. And what I like about that one is the high candela. That's actually the Turbo series. That's got a really focused beam. So it makes sense if you're going to be looking at targets a little bit further away, right? I like that. If you want something that has lesser candela, more lumens, that's that throw. That's that wider field of view at the end of the day, right? There's a lot of different options out there at the end of the day. Mod light makes a phenomenal one. Cloud defensive makes another really good light. Streamlight I do like, but I've had two Streamlights fail on me. TLR1, the battery cap, I mean, the thing just fell apart on me. Granted, it was old. I get it. And what else was it? It was actually a Streamlight pressure pad that started to wear and failed on me without a lot of hard use too. You know what I mean? It's what I used to have on my Mark 18 before I upgraded and replaced to the Surefire. But you know, there's a lot of different options out there. As far as like pistol lights go, again, Surefire also makes the X300, which is what I've got on my 1911 railgun sitting right here in front of me that I can't show you guys. So like I said, there's a lot of them out there, and obviously I like Surefire. They're tried, true, tested, proven, reliable, all that type of stuff. All right. Fusil automatique léger. If you don't know what I just said, educate yourself. That's the FAL. Best battle rifle ever. Anyway, we definitely have a top 5 fight, or at least top 5 battle rifles. Go watch that video. You'll see my thoughts there. Granted, at that point in time, the SIG Spear didn't exist, wherever the hell it is, over there. But it still probably wouldn't make my number 1. You know, maybe once they fix some kinks with it. All right. But anyway, so I'm seeing it about building versus, assembling and stuff like that. Got a couple more of the super chats coming in. Thank you guys so much. Let's see here. I saw that many shops about not selling AR parts. Jeremy Scott. I also bought a Vortex Strike Eagle 5x25 to 50 first focal plane. Damn. You got magnification for days. And I've actually got a 525 sitting over on a Springfield waypoint over there that I'm going to be trying out soon. That's pretty nice. And the Vortex Strike Eagle, you can't go wrong with that. Vortex also has their VIP warranty program, whatever it is, which is awesome. In case you do break your shit. Really, really cool. So yeah, that's a solid setup there, Jamie. Let's see here. Legacy Productions, good to see you. Appreciate it. Hope all is good, Clint. If you get the chance, look up myself. 2A Ways would help a lot. All right, I will do that. And in fact, let me just do this really quick so I don't forget. And if it's a tab open, I'll look at it and be like, why the hell do I have this tab open? And we'll be set. All right, cool. Anyway, Ghost Shadow. Have a Taurus pump action 357 38 special rifle with a 20-inch barrel. Did I read that right? That is totally hearing safe for 38 special rounds without a suppressor. Yeah, so 38 special is awesome out of a long barrel. It's kind of like a 22 out of a long barrel also. If you shoot it out of like a 22 long rifle, it's still hearing safe technically, but it's going to be audibly different, audibly louder if it comes out of like a 22 revolver versus out of a 22 lever gun, right? So I definitely see that. But a Taurus, I didn't even know this existed. A Taurus pump action 38 with a 20-inch barrel. Now imagine if you did throw a suppressor on it, just because why the hell not? That type of stuff is a lot of fun. Whenever you start getting the guns that aren't semi-autos and you start suppressing those, then you can start playing into that Hollywood quiet type of stuff. It's a lot of fun. All right. That's cool though, Ghost Shadow. Thanks for telling me about that. Kyle, sipping on an ice cold brewski. Cheers, bro. And good rifle. Cleaning my DDM4V7 and watching you. What a great Monday. Cheers, brother. Dude, thank you, man. I appreciate that. You guys are far too kind, and thank you so much, Kyle. And thanks for the super chat, man. It means a lot. Rebel Sniper 116, looking to buy my first AK. What are your suggestions? We got a lot of cameras. And I don't know if Matt has a good home office or not, but I feel like he would be a great guest host or just guest on one of the live streams. And so I'm going to mention that this week to him about getting him on the live stream, because he would love, obviously, to talk about this. But as far as a first AK goes, there are a lot of them out there. And it really just depends on ultimately how much are you willing to spend? Because it's so funny now. AKs used to be the cheap rifle, right? ARs are now, you can find ARs pretty commonly and pretty affordably. AKs now, if you run a really quality one, you're going to be spending some money, which again is just kind of funny. But I always recommend Zastava. Zastava just makes great AKs all around, right? That was my first AK, and they hold true to even this day, making a good rifle. The M70 isn't technically an AK. I mean, nothing really on the market is a true AK-47, right? But AK types, there's plenty. But the M70 is pretty nice. if you know anything about AKs, then you'll know that you would appreciate a bulged trunnion, you would appreciate a chrome line barrel, things like that, right? And that's exactly what the M70 has, which again is really cool. So I would take a look at Zastava, however you want to pronounce it. They're really good. If you want to spend a little bit more money, there's companies out there like Meridian Defense who make some really cool AKs, but also are very, very expensive AKs. So, KUSA, I'm not sure what's going on there. Let me know what you guys think. They've been having a lot of drama recently. So check them out. I'm a fan of those guys. I like the people, but I'm not sure what's happening with a lot of their quality control and all that. But at the same time, I mean, I'd still buy, especially one of their 12 gauge AKs that they have. They're super freaking cool. But anyway, so I think I listed a couple of different names there. I'm sure there's plenty that I'm forgetting or that I might not even know of. But that's why I'm saying like Matt would be really good to talk about, because you can also find a pretty basic Wasser 10 from way back when, maybe still for an affordable price. But, you're going to have mag wobble and stuff like that. They're not like, the most tight fit tolerance guns, but they work, they run, and they're fun. So there you have that. All right. Oh, man, let's see here. Hungry 40s. $5 says ATF Fed boys think AR-10s are 5 assault rifles less dangerous than AR-15s. Yeah, probably. Appreciate the super chat, Hungry Man. Thank you for tuning in. Conquistador. Clint, what was your MOS in the Marine Corps, and do you miss it, bro? No, I don't miss it. I'm still in. I am in the reserves as a ammo tech. So I actually just had drill this past weekend. That's why I'm looking the way I am, all right? But anyway, and if I did get out, when I get out, yeah, I will miss it. I'm not going to miss all of it. I'm not going to miss a lot of the politics and stuff like that, but it's the guys. The guys are who I'm going to miss. But anyway, it's just money. They make more. Literally, Tanner, I'm trying to think about what the conversation was on. It's just money. They make more, literally. I mean, you're right. They do. They just keep printing money off like there's no tomorrow. So, whatever. Oh, man. Anyway, let's see here. We got another one that just came in from Henry. Good to see you. Thank you, Henry Klein, for the super chat. 1911 with a beaver tail that doesn't eat my hand. Or am I just a pansy? Love the content. I think I know what you're talking about. There's some 1911s that don't have like a really base model that don't have, are you saying the actual beaver tail? Get you? Because I know slide bite and stuff like that can happen on some of those earlier 1911s. I never had it happen to me, but I also grew up shooting 1911s, so I got really acclimated quickly, I guess you could say. I don't know, man. I'll be honest with you. What do you guys think? There's definitely like extended, oversized beaver tails you could probably look in and getting, and they're not difficult to replace either. On the 1911, I know it can be a little intimidating because of how many springs and how complicated the internal workings of a 1911 are, but they're actually, once you kind of figure it out, they're actually pretty easy. But I would look in getting maybe just an aftermarket beaver tail, honestly. Save yourself some money instead of replacing the whole gun, you know what I mean? But yeah, so thank you, Ulysses Munez, for the super chat. Appreciate it. Thank you, Henry, for the question and the super chat. T-Dev, what are the thoughts on the P365 macro controversy? There's always controversy and, well, just about in everything, but especially SIG. So what is the controversy this time around? Is it, same old, or is there something new happening? Let me know just in the live feed here, and I'll double check it and all that type of fun stuff. But yeah, I have a 365 macro with the Holosun HS507K sitting on top of it and Streamlight TLR7, which again, for a compact weapon light, I like that actually over the Surefire XC1 personally. Or I haven't tried the XC2 yet, but well, going back to talking about weapon lights and stuff, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, I shoot my 365 macro all the time, and I haven't had any problems with it. So just let me know, what it is that you might be referring to there. No problem, Henry. I see you there. But let's get here. A1 has the bigger beaver, I think. Nice. There you go. Just got some guard dog body armor. Tim Davis. That's awesome, dude. So I've got obviously my guard dog body armor sitting up right over here, and there you go. That's my guard dog. I actually have a different cummerbund side straps on it. That's actually from Direct Action. I wanted the Molly, and it also has internal cuts for side plates, which I will be picking up from Guard Dog also soon. But anyway, that's great. Get body armor. We should make it a more common thing. Make it a common practice, right? But anyway, let's see here. Got another super chat. Ulysses, should you build a 6.5 Creedmoor 14.5 AR-10? Probably not. Then again, you probably shouldn't build a 10.3 5.56 either, but I got one of those. I think they're really cool, but again, if you're going to be engaging out to any, or hunting or whatever, shooting a target out to any distance, let's say beyond 500-600 yards, something that the 6.5 Creedmoor is far capable of doing, you really start to lose the benefits of that round out of a shorter barrel. So there's that. And also, it's not a good round to suppress because of how fast it's moving also. The 308 is actually a better suppressor host or suppressor round than 6.5 Creedmoor, just because, again, of that speed and things like that. So I would go probably a little bit longer for a 6.5 Creedmoor AR-10. I would do a 14.5 308 and suppress that. A 13.9 or 14.5 I think would be pretty sweet. A lot of fun. So there you go. All right. And Rusty, no, absolutely not. Yes, do it. Show us. Do it. Anyway, let's see here. Thank you, Nick. Nick Talks Entertainment. Appreciate it for the super chat, man. I really want a SIG and PX 8-inch, but I can't ever find one new. Do you think SIG will ever reproduce or produce them again? So the Spear LT exists. They just dropped the Spear LT in 300 Blackout. I will say that there will be something similar to the Spear LT in a MPX form coming soon. Anyway, with that being said, let's see here. Henry, you meant to say where the safety and beaver tail meet. If I don't show it on camera, son of a... It's in the holster, so you can't really see. Okay, so when I'm holding my 1911, I'm not getting... I do have a beaver tail on that, slight curve. If I kind of pull it up here, you see that right there, right? And you're talking about this area right here. I hope the algorithms aren't smart enough to recognize that that's a gun. That would be freaking wild. But anyway, if that's the case, and they've definitely picked up on a lot of words I shouldn't have said and things like that. And I've got an ambi safety on mine as well, and I can tell you I don't really notice it or feel much of anything. So how are you gripping the gun? That's that might be the question to ask. I'm not too sure. So yeah, I haven't had that issue. I don't know, man. I don't know. What you guys help Henry out here. Maybe you guys can do better than what I'm doing right now because I'm sucking. All right. But anyway, let's get to a couple more here. How long have I been going? For about an hour 18. We're just getting started, right? I haven't even started shit talking the ATF too much. Anyway, speaking of which, Andy Dom 130. The ATF should focus more on the A and the T, and less on the F, and go F themselves. Clint, by the way, your Cold M4A1 build inspired me to build one just like it. Thanks for all the great content, bro. And it is sitting right over there. You guys can't see it. It's off screen. But I like it a lot. I've been thinking about maybe getting rid of it, doing something different. I actually really want one of the R3s from Daniel Defense. I want to run it, I want to abuse it, and I want to try it. But I want it in the 11.5 configuration. I think it's called like the R3S. So check that out. So I've been thinking about actually getting rid of that Colt and picking up one of those and trying it out. But I also do really like that Colt a lot. But it also has one of those high shelves, which is pretty dumb. So if I wanted to put in a a different trigger. I would have to Dremel that out, which is pretty dumb. You know, Knights, actually, if you look at their lower receivers on like their SR15s, they actually put a third position block externally on the lower receiver. So let's say you wanted to get like a binary trigger or an echo trigger that has a third position. It actually physically prevents you from going into a third position. So if you're familiar with like Fostech, you would have to get their Echo Sport trigger, which has the tab inside of the trigger guard, just sits higher of the trigger. Yeah. Why companies do this, it irritates the hell out of me. Like, hey, you're not going to use our guns to actually do legal shit with. You know, whatever. Anyway. Oh, man. Are you guys getting Gemtech suppressor? What do you think about it? So Gemtech back in the day, I've got my first pistol suppressor I ever bought was a Gemtech GM45. I still use it today. I use it on my 357 Super X by Henry. I like it a lot, and I've got a lot of rounds to it. I've shot 357 through it, 9mm. It's a 45 caliber can, so 45, obviously. Shot it with the SMG 45 by LWRCI. Shot it with my CZ Scorpion. Shot it with an AP5. Shot it, with all sorts of stuff, and it works really, really well. It's also the monocore design, so it doesn't have stackable baffles. It was the cool thing to do before 3D printing, pretty much. It's really is a cool design, and it's very easy to maintain and clean. So, as far as Gemtech today goes, they're owned by Smith & Wesson, I think, and Ron Martinez, who used to own Gemtech, now owns JK Armament, or works. He doesn't own JK, sorry. He works very closely. He's one of the top guys at JK Armament, and they're doing some pretty cool stuff with suppressors over there too. But they like to stir the pot quite a bit in the industry. And you can go check out their social media, but they are cool guys. Rich, if you're watching, love you, man. You're awesome. But anyway, I like Gemtech, though. I do like Gemtech. I haven't used any of their newer stuff, so, I'll leave it with that. But if you build a 6.5-inch 6.5 Creedmoor and it functions, let me know when we do our next, I don't know. I feel like Brandon Herrera should host that on like his, oh God, what does he call them? What's the gun, toxic guns, gun nightmares, whatever the hell it is. Yeah, that would be pretty good and the way to go, I think. Anyway. So Greg is asking about the 6.5 Grendel in the AR platform, which I think is a really slept on cartridge. Again, Matt would love to speak on this because 6.5 Grendel is one of his favorites. And it is a really, again, it's one that's not talked about a whole lot because there's so many other different calibers out there, but it does a lot, quite a bit better than a lot of other calibers. It's just everything. There's so many things that aren't, I don't know, finding 6.5 Grendel is not as available as all the other big names. Different rifles chambered in it, barrels, things like that. But 6.5 Grendel is a really cool cartridge, and I like it a lot. All right, but anyway, I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you guys like 6.5 Grendel? And yes, Zuckerbergers. Brandon did testify to Congress. That was cool. I talked about that in my last live stream a bit, applauding Brandon again, and he's a great guy. He's a great guy, and I consider him a good friend too. And it was really cool to see him go up there and talk about, again, the overreaching and tyrannical agency that is the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, otherwise known as the ATF. And yes, he did that in front of Congress. He's one of the guys that actually puts his money where his mouth is, and he's not just an influencer. He's not just making money off of the Second Amendment. He's also defending it, and I think that's something very admirable and something that a lot of people don't do, quite frankly. So that is awesome, and again, I'm glad to consider him a friend. Cursed Guns. Yes, that's what it is. Cursed Guns. You would think, man, I'm a shitty friend. I can't even remember what his YouTube segment was. But anyway, oh, man. No, I don't think so. I know that they consider hearing safe to be 140 decibels or less than 140, right? And so a lot of, I want to say a lot of different manufacturers kind of look at that as their standard. but I don't think there's actually like a certain level of decibel reading that has to be considered a suppressor. It's kind of like, hey, do you, for the intents and purposes of decreasing the report in which a firearm makes, I'm trying to make it sound like lawyer talk and I can't do it. So I guess I still have some morals. But anyway, at the end of the day, no, I don't think there is any type of limit. But I honestly haven't really looked either. So, there you go. But yeah, it's also been a while since he's done, cursed gun images and things like that. Yeah, I agree. But anyway, let's see here. I want to get just a guess. I just want to see. Yep, I saw the 6.5 Grendel. And I want to make sure I've gotten to all of the super chats that you guys got out there. Also, again, good to see you guys. Thanks for tuning in. And I know I've missed a lot of comments here. I'm scrolling back up some here. Oh, yeah, I see what you're talking about. But anyway, okay. Oh, man. So we've talked a little bit about this already, Bobby Brown, about some good weapon lights, things like that. I've talked about Mod Light, Surefire, Streamlight, Cloud Defensive, and all those guys make great products. I have the most experience with Surefire and Mod Light, and Mod Light does make like a good lightsaber almost. In fact, some of their morale patches, for marketing and stuff like that are like Jedi. I'm sure there's some sort of infringement there or something. But anyway, it's like Jedi using their flashlights as lightsabers type of stuff. Pretty funny shit. But Surefire also makes a great light. It's been around for a long time. Tried, true, tested, combat proven, all that type of fun stuff. And yeah, I love Surefire too. And I also have a little bit of a bias because it's one of those things when you start to know the people that work in the industry and things like that, it becomes really fun because now you can tell people, hey, you know what? I don't like this about your product, and you're still friends at the end of the day, and you can go have beer or have a beer. And then they come back the next day and say, hey, you remember that thing you said you didn't like? Yeah, well, guess what? I fixed it. It's like, cool. Now listen to everybody else in the YouTube comments say something else and, go fix it on their behalf. But anyway, yeah. So, I don't know why I went off on that tangent, but I just did. But I have a little bit of bias to Surefire because I know the guys personally over there, and they also do make a really good product, and I've been using their products for a very long time. So I can say that just for complete transparency, all right? But again, I'm not going to shit on any other light company that still makes a quality light, but I will let you know that Streamlight, even though I use them on my concealed carry pistol, I prefer their concealed carry pistol lights, like the TLR7, over the Surefire XC series, or at least the XC1. I didn't really like how the light sat on the gun. It's not as easy to operate, things like that. I didn't think the light was as good, so, there you go. Have that. But anyway, let's see here. The Manby2218. May you do a video of a build you do for a 300 blackout in 5.56. You inspired me to build. Need some ideas. Well, awesome. I was just talking about earlier, the biggest compliment I've gotten so far is like, hey, because of you, I was inspired to build this, build that, and that's just freaking cool. Go out there and do it. And with that, are you building or are you assembling? Let me know. But with that, I also just kind of want to let you know too that there's a lot of different guns that I have configured. Let's do a third word in the mix. Configured for different things. Like this right here is a 300 blackout upper, right? It's still a Mark 18 lower at the end of the day, which is at the end of the day, it's an AR pistol, right? With a stock because it's a short barreled rifle. It's probably a poor way to put things, but it's a shorty boy. All right. Put it that way. Sorry. That probably was confusing to some people. Just forget what I said there. It's a short barreled rifle, with a stock on it because yes, it is a registered NFA item, blah, blah, blah. I've already hit on that enough, but it does have an 8-inch Aero Precision upper receiver on it. And this is how I have it kitted out for 300 blackout. For 5.56, I've got something slightly different. Same optic. It's an EOTech holographic, but I've got a magnifier. I've got arguably stuff that would probably be better suited for 300 blackout because it's a better close quarters cartridge. But I've got my Steiner D-ball on it for night vision and things like that illuminates your laser and all that type of stuff. It's a visible and IR laser. This one, I don't think the battery is charged. Yeah. So, but anyway, so probably should take the battery out of there then before that like starts to erode and cause problems. But anyway, so there's a lot of videos that we've already done where we cover different configurations for different applications. So just let me know what your application would be. Again, home defense, hunting, competition, SHTF, whatever it might be. And, you know, we can have some fun with that, right? But it really does come down to what the issues are. SIG, oh, so this is what the 365 macro controversy is, are rusting. Well, that sucks. So I haven't cleaned mine literally since I've got it. And yeah, I know it's my concealed carry gun. One of them. I also have the Canik Mate MC9 that I've been using. So, you know, I do apply, where is it? I actually have it right here. I like this stuff a lot. Cleanse oil. I think we have these kits on our website actually. Cleanse oil here, 3-gun combo. They're pretty freaking awesome. They make great stuff. Anyway, I apply more lubrication. I haven't cleaned it. You know, again, I don't shoot it like it's not something I shoot every time I go to the range. It is something I've shot a lot, but not as much as like my 320 that's on my battle belt over here. This guy. But I do wear it and it rubs against my skin. I sweat, stuff like that, but I haven't noticed any rust on mine. So did I get lucky? I don't know. I'll have to look and double check, and I don't know. We'll see. It's kind of like, look, a lot of guns will rust. I mean, almost every gun will rust if they're not maintained at the end of the day. I do like to keep a light, you know, a little bit of lubrication on a lot of my guns, all my guns. You know, I mean, hell, I came in here after being gone for a little bit, and I'm in my bunker, right, which doesn't have exactly the most dry air, and I noticed some rust built up on the lever on one of my lever guns. You know, shit like that happens. So I put a little bit of oil on it, cleaned it, and good day. So it was just cosmetic, but, you know, it didn't actually get down into the metal, so that's good. But anyway, so to get to that, though, what is my home defense rifle? Need ideas. There's a lot of ideas. There's a lot out there, you guys. But what you see right here, that's it. I love the setup. And yeah, I'm deciding to risk it all, right? Because if you guys remember what I was talking about before in one of the previous live streams, if you watched it, it was that if you utilize a silencer, a short-barreled rifle, a machine gun in a defensive situation, and let's say you're found at fault, they tack on the fact that you may have used these items, and minimum sentencing, depending on the item, is anywhere from 10 to 30 years. Like, wow. And yes, you can legally own machine guns, but let's say that's your bedside gun and you've clapped some home invader, and let's say they had a really good, you know, the family hired a really good lawyer and they convinced you that he was just there for bread and wasn't there to actually like harm you or something, and it was a wrongful death. Well, now they're going to tack on, oh, and by the way, he was using a machine gun also, so, and it wasn't a clean kill, so now it's automatically 30 years tacked onto your sentence. So that's cool. But with that being said, tried by 12, carried by 6, right? That's kind of how everybody looks at it. I want what I consider to be the best tool for the job. And for my living arrangement, where I live, that is a fantastic tool for the job. I also have a silencer on my 45 that sits on my nightstand, my FNX 45. You know, some of you have asked, why don't we ever see the FNX? Because it's sitting in my nightstand. But so, you know, there you have it, right? I'm willing to risk it because that's how I feel about it. But anyway, and we can do the entire, you know, I'll save this for a different live stream, or I actually got a video out on it now. On Classic Firearms, we put out a video on it a while ago, and that was about a home defense, using a silencer for home defense. So if you want to hear my opinions on that, check that video out. All right. But anyway, yeah, you're absolutely right. Zuckerberger's oil is your friend. Make sure you lubricate your guns because, well, you guys have all heard that, you know, that phrase, that quote, guns have two enemies, politicians and rust. You can help one. I'm not going to say what I was about to say. I mean, technically with the tools that you're going to use, you can help both. Anyway, I guess I will say what I was going to say. Let's see here. Clint Eastwood, as active Navy, I can tell you, even when we are preparing to deploy in a combat zone, we maybe shoot 200 rounds max. I'm curious about what your MOS in the Navy is, because at least for a while, before any Marine would deploy, there's actually a pre-deployment training, and it's almost like ITX, the integrated training exercise that takes place during the summer every single year, and you shoot a shit ton of rounds. It's ultimately preparing you for the environment in which you're going to be deployed to. So it would always be at 29 Palms, something like that, for if you're going to get deployed to the Middle East during Afghanistan, or when we were at Afghanistan for way too many years. So, that's interesting. I wonder if you're like a Navy corpsman, that you're attached to a unit, your job isn't, an infantryman at the end of the day. So it would make sense that perhaps you're not sending as many rounds downrange. If you're a Navy SEAL, you should shoot a little bit more. What the hell, right? So, there's that. I think it really does depend on your MOS at the end of it all. So I know that there's guys that deployed in my MOS that actually, we get attached to infantry units and we train with the infantry in that sense, right? Those guys that are attached, I'm not saying the MOS as a whole. That's not how that works. But anyway, really quick, no. So SGT_C_low, Olight a viable option. I have an Olight. I do, and I've actually had it for many years. I bought that as my first weapon-mounted gun on a... I actually think it was a Rock River. I think that was the first AR I ever bought when I was 20, or something like that, right? So anyway, and I think I had an Olight on it. And again, that was when they were like brand spanking new. I still had the light somewhere, and it still actually works really, really well, and it hasn't blown up on me, surprisingly, right? But Olight does have a reputation as being a cheap light that occasionally might blow up on you. There was a guy, how true is this? I didn't look it up myself, but I heard of a guy, so take that with what you will, that was holding the flashlight in his mouth, doing like some engine work, something like that. Again, I've done shit like that. I hold a flashlight in my mouth because I'm trying to root around with my hands. I don't have my hat on that I could clip it to or whatever else, I like the Surefire Stiletto as a personal light. But anyway, and the light actually overheated and blew up and caused catastrophic damage to the face, right? There was also stories of the flashlights overheating and actually catching people's pockets on fire, stuff like that. And granted, if you leave the light on, I could definitely see that happening. I mean, hell, all of the lights that you see around say at the, at the lens end, caution hot, things like that. But to actually like blow up on you, that's pretty scary. You know what I mean? So there's that. But anyway, let's actually go back to this. Almost all. Let's see, because you were talking before about. Because I want to continue this conversation here. All right, so let's see. Also, all Marines are expected to meet the expert accuracy just to qualify, and the rest of us just have to do basic marksman. Interesting. So what did I miss here? As active Navy, I can tell you 200 rounds. Okay, Marines will shoot over 1,000 easy. I see what you're saying. Okay, all right. Now I'm caught up. I didn't read all of what you were putting out there. That's actually pretty cool, talking about running 6.5 Grendel versus 300 Blackout suppressed. So that's pretty neat. Sorry, I was a little behind on the chat, guys. And so I am getting down here. And this is actually pretty funny. Which military branch would win a shooting competition? Because Clint, I see that you say Marines will Marines hands down. Obviously biased. I am a Marine, reservist, nonetheless. But don't look at who keeps winning the sniper competition, the annual sniper competition that takes place. It's surprising. All right. So the Marines don't do that good of a job, but we also are under different circumstances. It's kind of like, hey, what the scout snipers who used to be around would train for would be much different than what they were doing in the competition, right? So, arguably, the Marine snipers that aren't doing that well in this annual sniper competition for like a lot of the NATO countries and everything, the reason they don't do that well is because, well, the targets aren't shooting back. They typically do a little bit better when the targets are shooting back. They do better under stress. And when the targets are just standing there static, it's more difficult to shoot at, So that was a pretty good made up excuse, right? Anyway, but also all Marines are expected to meet expert accuracy just to qualify. The rest of us just have to do basic marksman. Interesting. All right. Which also in the Marines, if you can't reach expert, you just can't shoot. The qual level is a marksman, sharpshooter, expert, and then you get into designated marksman and sniper, accurate and true. Accurate, get it. There you go. And yeah, so there you go. Yeah, all right. Yeah, fun conversation that you've got there. But anyway, going back to some of the concealed carry stuff as well, I see that. I just want to see our still uppers, polymer lowers. But yeah. This question's been asked a lot, guys, so I don't want to, repeat a lot of what, has already been talked about for some of the viewers that have been on a little bit longer, but I'm still in the Marine Reserves as an ammo tech. So thank you guys for tuning in and asking and all that type of stuff. And I am a staff sergeant, I know, which seems a lot higher than I think what my professionalism is, but there it is. Anyway, I'm also thinking about, and no problem, you don't need to apologize, it's all good. But anyway, I'm also, I was going to say, oh shit, I forgot what I was going to say now. But ultimately what I was getting at was Instagram. I wonder if there's a way I could go live on my phone on Instagram also, so that way I could try to get to more social media and stuff like that. But if you guys would dude, I'll be honest with you. It's because I haven't had enough is what the problem is. That actually is it. This is about here, and it's only my first, so. And Lafroig isn't exactly cheap either, so I'll, keep that low. But anyway, and yeah, let me know if you guys think too about, bringing on guests on the live stream. If they're available, like Sarah, like Matt, and maybe even other people in the industry that might want to hang out. I recently did one, a guest appearance. I was the guest for DLD After Dark. So, go check his channel out. It was just a fun conversation for a couple of hours. It was pretty cool. But anyway, in the guest thing for this application that we use called StreamYard worked pretty well, and again, that's how we're able to stream to all these different channels or different social media outlets, like Twitch, Facebook, except I think Facebook took down our page again over the weekend. So, no big surprise there. And Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter even. So we're able to do all of that, which is pretty cool. But having all the guests on here, I think would be a lot of fun also. So let me know if that's something you guys would be interested in seeing. And let's see here. Sergeant CeeLo, retired Air Force here. All in all, we're all brothers in this fight, but let's agree ATF is a problem. Thought. Yeah, no, that's absolutely my thoughts. And for any of you that have been watching for any length of time, for a fact that I absolutely believe the ATF is a problem. But at the end of the day too, we're also a problem. Why? Because we keep allowing it to happen, it's unfortunate. We are living peacefully in this overreach, which is again unfortunate. And there's only so much I guess we can do before shit starts getting messy, I guess. We can keep, I can't keep saying that, blowing up. We can keep contacting our representatives to tell them to, vote this way, vote that way. And we can only hope that the like-minded individuals that want to see this country flourish and want a smaller government and want the ATF gone and other tyrannical three-letter agencies, I mean, technically they're a 4-letter, agency, or actually 5-letter, right? Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, Explosives. They're technically a 5-letter agency. So let's do away with the 5-letter agencies first. But anyway, IRS also should go away. But anyway, there's only so much we can do, because we can vote, we think, sure, but we can contact our representatives. They're not our leaders. They're our representatives. And we can tell them that, as their constituent, they has made us either very happy. We're happy to see the way that you've been voting. We are happy to see this bill that you've supported, or this or that. And I don't think they get that a lot. So if you actually see one of your representatives that represents you, that you voted for, vote in a manner that you like, because you voted for them based on the platforms that they are now still supporting, because you get a lot of them that'll say, oh yeah, we'll support this, support that, and then what? Then they get into office and, well, now we need to hold up this one bill because I didn't get my way over here, or something else and something rather, and it's bullshit. But anyway, I think a lot of politicians, they might appreciate hearing from their constituents when they say, hey, thank you for voting for that. You have secured my trust this time. Always hold their feet over the fire, though. They might do one thing good, but they'll turn around and start World War III next. Anyway, so there you go. All right. But without the IRS, who will force the big billion-dollar corporations to pay taxes? Oh, wait. That's pretty funny. The construction industry could use more paper pushers. Yeah, sure. But anyway. Man, I think I've ranted about long enough, guys. It's been an hour, 45 minutes. There's still a couple hundred of you here for some reason, so thank you guys. Feel free to comment down below too. I'll let it go for another couple of minutes. You guys get your questions in, super chats, whatever you want to do. I appreciate you guys just being here and hanging out, having a drink with me if you so choose. If you don't, that's fine. Stay hydrated, drink some water, and that's completely cool. But no, Willie T 888, thank you, appreciate that, man. That means a lot. And let's see here. I'm a firearms enthusiast, but think the 2A is surrounded by a bunch of gatekeepers. That's interesting. I don't disagree with that. But would you like to elaborate a little bit? Maybe that can be our final discussion before hopping off tonight. All right. So Clint, you got a two-parter here. What do I think about the SIG M17? Because you are so happy to get rid of the M9. So I've got the M9A3, and I also have the SIG 320 VTEC behind me, which is ultimately an M17 on steroids. And I didn't dislike the M9. The M9, first of all, is a very accurate pistol. I personally like the ergonomics and the feel of it. But the issue with the M9 and the reliability that it had, or the reliability issue that it had, was ultimately a maintenance thing. It really came down to these cracking and breaking locking blocks because, well, armorers weren't maintaining them. What do you mean they weren't maintaining them? How hard is it to clean a gun? It's not that. It's actually making sure that the recoil spring is maintaining its tension. Because if the recoil spring starts to wear, what you will notice is then the brunt of that force is sliding into that locking block, which will expedite wear. It will ultimately cause a breakage, which would ultimately cause your gun to fail and not shoot, right? So there you have it. But anyway, the M17 as its replacement. Now you've actually got a modular pistol. You've got, well, red dot options or like sight options on it. You've got a lot of different configurations that it can come in because of the modularity. You've got the Picatinny space, things like that. I think, honestly, it was a good move. You've got a higher capacity, things like that, too. The M9 had a 15-round capacity. The M17, you've got 17 or 21. Is that what that is? Is this yeah, 21 round capacity, and yes, keep your mags loaded. Yeah, I keep mine loaded. What good is an unloaded mag? Here's another mag sitting right beside me. That one's loaded. What about my 1911? Is it loaded too? I mean, yeah. What do you know? That one's loaded too. By the way, I knew it was loaded. That was just a joke. I know what condition my firearm's in most of the time. Just kidding. All right, so no, I do know what condition they're in. With all that, though, the M9 I think was a good pistol, but I do believe the modularity, capacity, and the overall, I think the M17 was the right move, but we'll see down the line. Is it as reliable? We'll see down the line. All right. So anyway, yeah. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, the amount of times an order for new recoil assemblies was canceled by supply. There it is. Why would they cancel something that would cause a detrimental effect to the operation of the firearm? Fucking supply. What is my favorite SIG? And what do I think about the M18? That's another question too. The M18 and the M17 are identical guns. The M18 is just a little bit shorter, and that's the one that the Marine Corps adopted. And I like it. I think it's a great carry gun. But anyway, but ultimately my opinions of the M17 and M18, they're the same because they are the same. Just, again, a little bit shorter, all right? But anyway, M18s do most jobs. Yeah, exactly. So that's that. What's my favorite SIG? So the 226 is a phenomenal pistol. I would love to have the 226 Legion, but also the SIG Sauer & Son I can't remember what it is now. I'm drawing a blank. P40? That's the airplane. Oh my God. It was noted as like the most accurate pistol in the world, and it's a beautiful shooter, expensive, phenomenal. All right, so there's that. All right, but let's see here. Sergeant CeeLo, Canic, and a carry pistol. Oh, Canic as a carry pistol. Got it. Yeah, I carry the Matei MC9. So I've got the MC9 and Alpha Mega Kydex holster doesn't have the wing, that doesn't have the extension or sidecar as they call it for a holster or for a spare magazine. With my SIG, I do. If I want something that's a little bit more compact, if I'm just shorts and a t-shirt kind of guy or kind of day, I actually haven't worn shorts and a t-shirt out in public in a long time. Actually, I don't know why. They're comfortable, but typically, if I'm just, going out, basic, simple, something quick, I'll grab my MC9. If I am going out for the day and I don't know where I'll be going, things like that, I'm running a bunch of errands or something, and I want as much of a loadout as possible, I'll take my 365X macro with the spare mag in it and all that type of stuff, right? So there you go. That's a big gun to carry, but it's also a sweet gun. So, the Rival I absolutely love. I've got that in my safe also. Did you go with the dark side or did you go with the chrome finish? Personally, I like the chrome finish. I had to. I got plenty of black guns. I wanted something a little bit different. But there you go. This is a good question coming from Matt Hatter. How long do you think prices on ammo will stay reasonable, and have we seen the lowest it will be? In this economy, maybe this is the lowest it will be. I don't know. Here's the thing, and you'll notice it. Every election cycle, things get a little bit cheaper, right? It's kind of weird. Gas starts to go down a little bit. This is something I've noticed. I could be way off base, depending on location, region, whatever else. But just the prices of things every election year seem to drop a little bit. Kind of like, oh, yeah, things aren't so bad. And that's because the majority of this country has a really short memory. And they're like, oh, right now is fine, so we'll keep voting for the same guy that fucked us over the past couple of years. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. I honestly don't know if it's the lowest it will be. And how long do I think it'll stay reasonable? Well, the next time some really big anti-gun legislation hits the deck, but it seems like it's hitting all the time now. And are we just getting used to it? Or is it because the ATF is starting to lose a little bit, we're starting to get complacent? Don't get complacent. Stay on top of these politicians and representatives, like I said before, to keep grilling the ATF. So, complacency fucking kills. That's what they've always said in the military, things like that, because you get comfortable, and that's all of a sudden when they take advantage of your comfort, right? So, if it gets quiet because things are okay for the moment, then they'll say, oh, okay, well, we can poke and prod a little bit, maybe get a little bit more money out of this, or restrict that, or make illegal that, or whatever else, right? So I don't know. I think really the only reason ammo hasn't been affected that much is because everybody was focused on like the pistol brace thing, right? Which is still ongoing. So it's kind of like, all right, well, they're not screwing with ammo. Back in 2010, 2008 through 2010, they were talking about banning M855, your green tip 5.56. So there was a huge scare about that. You know, they were talking about banning 30 round mags as they always do. So the people were buying the shitload of those. There was the 22 long rifle issue. It's always a cycle of things, right? So until the next big thing happens, you can probably expect things to stay the same. So how long will that be? I don't know. I'm not too sure. So there you go. Highly love your SFX rival. Yeah, it shoots so damn good. It's a heavy pistol, but it's a competition type of setup, you know. It's what, a 3-pound gun almost, you know. Yeah. How many guns are too many? If you have a hard time keeping up with them, if you gotta keep those guns off the streets, boys and girls. So if you don't know where yours are, it's probably a bad day, right? I say that, and I literally can't fit all of mine in a safe. So I have to, like, you know, make do. You know, thankfully there's a warehouse that's very secure, that I can store a lot of my guns at and stuff like that, which is nice. But I am also in the market for a new safe. I want something. So between us here, I'm actually thinking about building like a safe room in the bunker here, making a legitimate bunker, and doing drywall and all that stuff. But because I'm ridiculous, I want the room to actually be kind of like fireproof. So I want, you know, steel inserts, stuff like that going all the way around, and a vault door. I want it to be a legitimate safe, not a residential security container, which is most of the safes on the market. So anybody want to sponsor that? You know, I'll make a video out of it. But anyway, maybe one day. Yeah, because that's exactly what happens, how much money you spent. So there you go. But yeah, appreciate it. This is just a tactical gear tree made from some just 2x4s. And ITS Tactical. I know it's kind of funny, like it's tactical. Check their website out. They actually have instructions about how to build this. Honestly, it's some screws, a saw if you need to cut down the 2x4s the length. And then you've got what, one 4x, it might be a 4x6 or 4x4. That's the center post that everything actually stands on. That's this piece here, you know. So yeah, there you go. Also, this is interesting. I did not hear that, so I'll have to check that out. That's pretty funny. There you go. Stag, really? Yeah. So no, I have not heard that Stag Arms is getting bought out, or bought by who? Because they fall under, you know, because for those of you that don't know, Aero Precision, Stag Arms, VG6, there's a couple of other companies too that kind of all fall under an umbrella of, I think it's White Wolf Capital, something like that. This is all public information, by the way. Yeah, so I thought White Wolf already owned Stag Arms. So anyway, all right, there's that. Notice about only difference on 300 Blackout is the barrel, maybe magazines, depending on the load you want to run. Let's see here. I think you guys are talking about this. I'll try on here when you're not answering Rumble. Oh shit, I forgot all about Rumble. So what's funny is the Rumble chat isn't showing up where all the other chats are. I'm actually seeing a lot of Twitch. I haven't seen any YouTube chats in a while, which is pretty funny actually. So I wonder if something happened. So let me actually pull up YouTube really quick. And I want to see if we've got like a little technical difficulty going on. Yeah, because the chats are... Oh, wow. I just pulled up YouTube. Oh, man. So I'm obviously missing a lot of the chat here from you guys on YouTube. And there's got to be like some sort of... All right. So obviously I've missed a lot on YouTube. So I'm looking at the YouTube chat right now, guys. and I am seeing a lot of super chats that have come in, and everything else. Oh man. I'm not inciting violence. I see that there, Jeremy. Why the hell are the comments not coming through on here? I was wondering. I was like, man, you guys are kind of quiet tonight. And then I turn over here and it won't freaking stop. So anyway, thank you guys. I don't know what's up with that. Why a lot of them haven't been going through. Let me do YouTube. See if all destinations. Interesting. Don't know if I should refresh it or not. Let's see what happens. Be right back. Let's see. Okay. Yep. There we go. Yeah, I don't know what was happening, guys, but yeah, there's a bunch of them that have come in now, and man, I don't know what happened. Why a lot of the chats just went away. That freaking sucks. Okay, well, let's get on here and let's show. Let me see if I can see all of the super chats that have come through and all that type of fun stuff. Yeah, I'm sorry I missed that, guys. That was pretty, yeah, man. What's wrong with Turkish guns? That's kind of funny. Okay, so I'm coming back over here. I want to see if there's anything else that I could find, because I'm looking. So that was obviously just a system issue that we had pop up here. Again, sorry about that, guys. I noticed that I stopped getting YouTube chats for a while, and well, you know, here we are. So that's the first time that's ever happened. But now I'm trying to find live chat. Go to top. Yep, I'm not seeing them come through. So I want to see if I can find more. That's rough. Stream prevention by YouTube. Maybe. Man. Well, guys, let me just apologize because I don't know what the hell happened there. Like I said, I stopped getting YouTube chats on the StreamYard app, and that kind of sucked. And I was seeing a lot of Twitch, and that was pretty much it. And then once somebody's mentioned that I wasn't responding on Rumble, I realized I wasn't getting Rumble chats on here either. So, man, so for everybody that sent a super chat that I missed, I sincerely apologize. Greatly appreciate you guys ultimately supporting the channel, supporting me and everything, and my bad. With that, if you guys are still here, drop them in the chat. Drop them in the chat here, and I will do everything I can to try to get back to them and everything. And where did you get that flag? It's badass. This actually just I think it got off Amazon. I can't remember the flag company. Just type in Betsy Ross flag. It comes up. I love it. I love the patriotic thing and all that type of stuff. So there you go. What do I think about Diamondback firearms, Diamondback AR-15? They work great. I had a Diamondback AR pistol a long time ago. Switched out the barrel on 300 to make it 300 blackout, and the gun ran great. So, you know, I really appreciate that. Appreciated that pistol way back when. But anyway, see you, Nick. Nick Talks Entertainment. I'm still here. Sent my super chat a while ago. Appreciate it, man. Alex did start his own company. For those of you that are curious about Alec and where he's been, Lucky 913. I see you, man. Yeah, stuff still isn't showing up right on the stream over here. You know, so yeah, Twitch definitely took over the stream though. That's true. But anyway, so sorry I'm missing that, guys. But anyway, Lucky 913, he's saying, just saying, hey, glad to finally make a chat. Somebody indicated X Macro Comp has issue with ND. What say ye? Well, I haven't had that issue. Again, with the X Macro has issue with ND. So you're talking about a negligent discharge? Because there's one thing if it fires out of battery, but if it's a negligent discharge, that's negligent on the shooter's part, right? Negligence. So if it fires out of battery, that is a concern, and not one that I've heard of. All right, but for that pistol. But anyway, Tanner, I see you again, man. Opinion on why 6.5 Grendel isn't more popular. Which gun do you recommend getting in 6.5? I don't have one, so I need one. Fair enough. I will say, though, that 6.5 Grendel, we talked a little bit about it before. I think ultimately it's just not as popular because pricing and availability is one thing. And then on top of that, a lot of manufacturers probably just don't see that there's a lot of demand for 6.5 Grendel. So therefore, they're not going to make a lot of products in that chambering because, well, it doesn't make the money, right? So I think that's probably why it isn't more popular. It's kind of like it comes down to the consumer, supply and demand type of thing, right? Charles Moore is asking, what do you think about Strike Industries oppressor on an AR until I purchase a suppressor from y'all when y'all start selling them? First of all, thank you. That's awesome. And yes, we are working on that. So, but as far as the Strike Industries oppressor goes, I don't have any personal experience with it, but for those that are like the flash cans or whatever they are that are like, they don't actually do anything other than looks. If you want the look, without having to, actually own a legitimate silencer, that's completely fine. It's up to you. It's your gun at the end of the day. Enjoy it, shoot it, do what you want to do. You know what I mean? So, if I pull up, does it offer anything? Is it at least, I'm assuming it's Strike Industries oppressor. I'm assuming it's actually a blast deflector as well, which again is cool. That serves a purpose at the end of the day. So that's exactly what it is with the ventilation on different sides too. I just couldn't remember what it looked like, and this also has the different. It's got some sort of modularity to it too, right? Like you can put like something over it. I can't remember, but anyway, yeah, I don't see an issue with that whatsoever. It looks cool, so there's that. But if you take it to an indoor range, and you're, especially if you got a shorter barrel, that would suck. All right. So there you go. Rusty, I see you. Sig with Sig with negligent discharge issues. No way, man. Right. Oh man, that's funny. You guys are good. So yeah, out of battery for X macro, I see a Lucky 913. I haven't seen that. I can also try it and just see what happens. So stay tuned. All right. Clint, tell us your thoughts on the Smith & Wesson Leo AR trade-ins you guys had for sale. Those things are freaking cool, man. It's always really neat. We also had some Colts come in a while back, Colt ARs, but a lot of the Smith & Wessons that we get, like the 5906s and everything, they're just cool, especially the ones that have like something done to them. It's always really neat. What I mean by that is people that, add, like officers that add like their own stuff to it, their own little thing. I think that's always really neat, right? But anyway, Invasion HD is saying that he heard of an issue with Diamondback ARs where the buffer retainer pin is drilled slightly off, and every time you fire, the buffer slams into the pin instead of resting on the bolt carrier group. Oh shit, I never noticed that. Again, something I feel like, I guess you wouldn't really, if it's slammed into the pin, how is the bolt carrier traveling? Maybe I'm missing something here, but like is the retaining pin sitting between the actual buffer and the bolt carrier group? Because if that's the case, then how is the bolt carrier group traveling into the buffer, right? So that's interesting. Or is it just because of that cutout on the bolt carrier group? I don't know. It's something I'm going to have to take a look at though. So, there's that. All right. Oh man. But anyway, Giovanni Orozco, I think, Oroz. Oh my God, I'm butchering it again. Gio, I see you. My favorite caliber to shoot out of a lever action, 4570. I love a 4570 lever gun. I've got, there it is, right? So, there you have it. But anyway, you guys saw that. All right? Yeah, there it is. That's my Henry 4570 there that I absolutely love. But anyway, that I would probably say is my favorite caliber out of there. So, Let's see here. Thoughts on the Vox S suppressors for 300. Blackout Nick Talks Entertainment. Appreciate it, man. And Vox S suppressors. Let's take a look here because I don't think I have. Oh, from Energetic Armament. Oh, well, those guys I have heard of. But again, limited experience with these guys. Centerfire. Well, hey, they have a graph on their website, so that's cool, right? So that should be able to show you exactly what you're looking at there. As far as Energetic goes, a little bit of experience that I've had with them has been really favorable. It's nothing like, like, damn, that's a lot of gas back to the face or anything like that, or, heavy and loud. Haven't had any of that type of experience with them, but, I also don't want to bullshit you. Vox S, I don't even know if it was a Vox that we were shooting with Energetic, but at the end of it all, it's got a good look to it. As far as I can tell, the quality and everything else and the materials are where it should be. But, it's something, again, that I'm just going to have to take a look at personally and try. So stay tuned, all right? But anyway, you say Run and Gun D. You inspired me to make a gun channel. Thank you so much. Dude, I appreciate that, man. Thank you. I hope it's doing well. I wish I could put you up on the broadcast here, but I'm still not seeing the YouTube chats for some reason. It's like it lost its link. Like I can still see you guys commenting over here on YouTube, but I'm also on my personal YouTube, not on the Classic Firearms YouTube. So it's not like I can, go and do it all I need to do there. So to go back and see like a lot of the super chats and everything. So again, my bad, guys. I do not know what the hell happened, but at one point it just stopped. So, oh well. But anyway, I think ultimately, guys, I am going to go ahead and call it a night, though. That was another technical issue, unfortunately, and I hope everything worked out for the most part. And let me just see how Rumble's doing, too, because I know I said I was going to go back to them and see how that was coming along. So let's just pull up Rumble, if it's still working or not, and where we're at with that. But yeah, let's see here. Go to description, comments. Yeah, I don't know. That was weird. So, oh well. Well, guys, hey, again, I thank you all for tuning in. Maybe next time it'll be a little bit better, maybe a little bit more fluid. But we'll just keep trying. All right. And of course, hey, I'll still be here, talking with you guys. And, if I have to log in on Classic Firearms YouTube channel to, figure out the YouTube thing again. Again, I don't know why it just lost its linkage or whatever else. Again, that's some stuff that we can do on the back end here to make sure it's a little bit better viewing for you guys. But anyway, it is about 9:12 here on the East Coast. So yeah, I think it's about time to probably go ahead and start thinking about calling it a night and finish off the little bit of scotch that I have left. So cheers to you guys. Cheers for y'all tuning in. And before I go, though, let me just get a couple of answers. Monday night, does that work for you guys? Kind of start off the week, just kind of chit-chatting, hanging out. One of you guys at the very beginning of the stream said, can we call it Hanging with Clint? Next week, I'll make it Hanging with Clint. All right. So I hope Monday nights are good for you guys. Again, yeah, I'm already seeing yes Mondays, things like that. Yeah, Mondays from Blue Liberty. Appreciate it, man. Monday always works. I shoot on Friday. Sounds good. Monday, Sunday works. Good. Yep. Kaya, I don't think Kaya's going live this week. I think he is. I think he's on vacation right now. I think. Which I look forward to some vacation soon too. But anyway, is he or is it next week? I don't remember. I don't want to give away any of the guys' schedule, but anyway, I don't know if he's going live this week or not. I'm pretty sure he is, but yeah, I'm glad. Kaya gone fishing. We need to do that. We need to do the outside the warehouse. We take Kaya fishing. I think that would be hilarious. It's been a while since I've been fishing, but I've really been wanting to get back into it. So yeah, dude, I think that would be really funny. Do you think he'd be able to hold the fish with his bare hands, cleaning, gutting, all that type of stuff? Like, we should do it all on I wonder if YouTube would have a problem with that. Actually, like I don't know. I'm sure PETA would love it, right? But whatever. What are you gonna do? So anyway, I see you guys saying noodling with Kaya. Yeah, get Hannah Barron over here, take us noodling or something, but that would be pretty funny. But yeah, I'm seeing to the next video. If you're talking about the next live stream, I might be on next Monday. I might make it a Tuesday thing next week. But I will definitely make Mondays my priority and the regular type of stuff. All right. But anyway, I think we'll leave it off there, guys. And Alex gone fishing. Yeah. Chilling with Captain Morgan. Yep. Cheers with you guys. All right. Make a fishing video. Ice fishing would be interesting. Yes, it would. Cheers, Clint. Drank some Woodford Reserve with you tonight. Nice. Woodford's a good one. Cheers. Cheers. Hanging with Mr. Morgan. Good. Man, you guys again are just freaking awesome, dude. Y'all know how to make a dude feel good. So again, thank you guys for tuning in so much. I will hopefully have everything up and working next week. Again, Twitch took over StreamYard. I don't know what you guys did. Twitch decided to say screw YouTube, we're kicking y'all out, and that's what happened. So there you guys go. But next YouTube video is what you're asking. Next YouTube video tomorrow. Tomorrow is what we've got going on. I actually should know what tomorrow's video is. I know it if I can actually figure out the schedule of things. Because we did our... there's the HK drop, by the way. If you guys didn't see that, some MR762s made their way into the warehouse, which is pretty sweet. So I'm sure you can guess what video you might be seeing at CF Contest, since we got some MR762s in. I'm excited. But anyway, so that video will be coming out soon this week. And of course, I'm trying to scroll through my emails and all that type of stuff. And for the life of me, tomorrow's the next video. I can say that much. All right. And, I guess I'll go ahead and finish it out there, though, guys. And if there's anything else, save it for next time. And yeah, that's right. Kaya said he's never been fishing, which is just wild to me. Yeah, my favorite fishing rod, the Mark 18. There you go, Shane. Yeah, Lafroig, absolutely. That's it. So thank you. Sarah may not be on the live stream this week, but like I said, I think her and I are looking at doing a collaborative live stream. I think we're going to be kind of doing that. We don't want to overcrowd you guys with too many live streams and stuff like that. If you guys enjoy them, though, great. Let us know. And but yeah, I think I'll go ahead and leave it off there, guys. It's now about 9:50, 9:17 over here on the East Coast. And yeah, I'll talk to Matt about have him guest appear on the live stream. I think you guys would appreciate that some. So anyway, cheers to you guys again. I appreciate you all. God bless. Make sure you get out there, urge those representative R's to repeal the NFA, abolish, defund the ATF, and don't forget to go out there and take an anti-gunner to the range and show them the beauties that are these fine pieces of machinery and everything that works so well. I absolutely love them. So God bless you guys. Again, appreciate you guys so much for tuning in. And, it's funny that I get a notification that a message is held for review, and I can either choose to hide it or show it. And this one, I'll show it. It's F the ATF. So, guys, we'll see you next time. Take it easy. Have a good night. I got to remember where my end broadcast button is over here.